Hello, I'm flutist and conductor Ransom Wilson. I've noticed over the years that there's one common denominator among classical musicians, an intense love of food. It seems that we all respond to the flavor, aroma, texture, and visual appeal of foods from around the world, and nothing is too exotic. Most of us also love cooking, so I decided to produce a show that features conversations, a little performance, and a lot of hands-on cooking with some of my favorite colleagues. Many of them are well-established stars, and some are just at the beginning of their careers, but they're all as crazy about food as I am. I hope you enjoy meeting my friends and colleagues in this ongoing series. Ani Kavafian is one of the foremost violinists of her generation. She wears many musical hats as soloist, chamber musician, concertmaster of major orchestras, and professor of violin par excellence. I've had the privilege of playing chamber music with her in festivals all over America, and for more than 20 years at the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center in New York City. I'm also happy to say that we're colleagues on the faculty of the Yale School of Music. I asked Ani to be my very first guest on the program, and she accepted enthusiastically. Since she has an Armenian background, I thought it would be fascinating to learn how to make an authentic Armenian dish. Ani agreed and decided on Armenian Eggplant, a tasty and colorful dish taught to her by her mother. She also decided to play a gorgeous Armenian piece called The Crane by Komitas. As you will see, she's a delightful person to spend time with, and she's a natural-born cook. I'm here with Ani Kavafian, my friend and colleague. Ani and I have played together for more years than I'm willing to admit. And Ani, I wondered if you answer a couple of questions about your education and stuff. Where are you from?
Well, Ransom, that's a long question to answer. You know why? I was born in Istanbul, Turkey, and I studied piano there when I was 3 years old. And I thought I was going to be a pianist until we came to this country in 1956. And my school needed string players. And my parents were string players. And so I chose the violin, had a $15 scholarship where I got 5 lessons. And the man came to my house for $15. Complete 5 lessons. Not anymore. Actually, and after my father passed away, he actually married my mom. So it was a very nice connection.
Wow.
Yeah, he also taught my sister Ida and many other people, Robert Vernon and lots of Georgia Flazanis from Minneapolis.
Wow.
Anyway, he was a wonderful teacher. And then I ended up 5 years with him, and then I went to Misha Mishakov, who was the concertmaster of the Detroit Symphony and NBC, and he was a very tough teacher, but really, really excellent. And then it was time to go to college, and I came to Juilliard and went to Juilliard, got a Master of Science degree, what they called. It was just an extra way to take more academics, so that's what I did. I stayed there, wonderful scholarship. It was everything got paid for, and studied with Ivan Galamian. And then I graduated, and then I had to make a living.
Well, we actually met at Juilliard, although we didn't really do much together there. But that's where we first met.
Yep.
And then, of course, we play together at the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center, and we also are colleagues at Yale. So this is old home week, and I'm really happy that you're my first guest.
Oh, isn't that nice? Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I understand that you have something special to play for us.
Oh, well, yeah. this is one of my favorite pieces. I wish we had a pianist here because it's beautiful with harmony. But this is a piece by Gomidas, who was a monk. And he wrote just tons of pieces for song and piano and chorus. And this one is called Gurunk. In Armenian, Gurunk is translated into the crane, the bird, the crane. And it's about the flight of the Armenians from their homeland. Want to hear it?
I'd love to hear it.
Okay.
Wow, that's beautiful. You know, this is the second time this month I've run into Komidas, and I'd never heard of him before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been doing some work with the Ulysses Quartet, and they play a set of 4 or 5 folk songs arranged by Gomidas.
Oh.
So, wow, you know, this happens to me all the time. I hear a name for the first time, and then I start hearing it from then on.
Yeah,
but obviously, and one thing we didn't mention is that Ani is Armenian American. So she has this strong connection with Armenia and Armenians and Armenian food, as we're about to find out. But she is making us, we're going to make together the Armenian eggplant. So do you tell us about this dish? What, do you have any kind of special connection with it, or?
Well, you know, my mom was a great cook. Okay, she was amazing. And we would try, my sister and I would go to the kitchen to see what she's doing, how she's making things, right? And she would shoo us away. Go, no, you have to go practice your violin. Go away, no, don't. So we couldn't pick up enough information from her. But this was a dish actually that she talked about and she made, and she kind of, I mean, this is a pretty famous dish for Armenians. It's an eggplant, and it's usually done with fried eggplant. But decided not to fry it and to broil it, which is a little bit, what should
Healthier.
I say, a little healthier. You still have, there's stuff in there that could make you fat if you overeat it. But this was a dish she did tell us about, and she would make it quite often. And my husband Bernie knows I make it here pretty often too. So I love it. It's kind of a sweet and savory thing, and made with eggplant slices, which I have salted and let the acid out. And what I'm going to do now, we're going to do it together, but I'm going to wipe down all of the acid away from the eggplant with a paper towel, and then dip it in. I use corn oil today, but you can dip it in olive oil. And then we're going to broil it. How's that sound?
Sounds fantastic. Let me go grab my eggplant slices that I've already salted, and they've been sitting here for a while.
I think it's good to salt the eggplant, let it sit for a good half hour, because it takes that long for all that stuff to actually come out. So you'll wipe this down, and then you'll dip it in your oil, not too much, just enough to coat it a little, and then put it on a baking sheet.
I already had mine on the baking sheet, so.
Oh, you have to wipe your baking sheet down now.
I know. I didn't have anything big enough to put the slices on.
Yeah, that was.
Okay. And I'll make this clear when I write out the recipe, which will be in the comments underneath the video.
Okay, great.
But these are 1/4-inch slices.
1/4-inch slices, and it's like purple eggplant, but really you can use the Italian eggplant. You can use any eggplant. I'm using the purple one right now. But it's I use like a medium one, not too big, because these days, because of the COVID situation, it's just my husband and I that eat here. We don't have the family here with us, unfortunately. One thing you have to do prior to this is to make sure your oven is set to broil, and put the rack like maybe 4 inches from the top. And every oven is different, so we have to judge how much it'll take to brown both sides. Because while we do that, while we brown both sides, we can make the sauce which goes on top.
Okay, let me finish my slices here.
Okay.
I'm using olive oil today.
That's absolutely fine.
And then I've already turned the broiler on, and Ani said put it about 4 inches from the broiler, which I did.
Right, I think that's a good. And then I think we should check it every once in a while, because as I said, every oven is a little bit different, a little hotter, a little cooler. But
and how brown are we looking for this?
We're looking for a good color. Sometimes the browner it gets a little crispier, and that's actually good. But this will be to taste, Ransom, because I like mine fairly brown but not burnt.
Yes, burnt is not good. So there are my slices. They're about to go into the broiler.
It's ours. Okay. In the oven.
Okay. Now we're going to work on the tomato sauce, correct?
So with the tomato sauce, I use canned tomatoes, and I like the Italian brand. So I'm using about 1.5 cups, maybe a little under, and put that in first. I'm going to squeeze a clove of garlic on top. So this will be.
I've done already.
You've done the clove already. Great. I'm just going to do it now. So then, I love the smell of garlic.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to add my balsamic vinegar, 1/4 cup.
Which I've done here.
And then with that, also add brown sugar. Also, I used 1/4 cup.
well packed, I think, right?
Well packed, yeah. And then, of course, salt. And again, I'm using, I don't know, probably a quarter teaspoon or so, but it could be more if you like salty stuff.
We have a difficult household. One of us loves salt and one of us doesn't. So.
Uh-oh, okay. Well, my husband loves salt, so.
Yeah, well, I understand. Okay, so I think we've got everything.
Okay, so.
And you said a little pepper too. I'm just going to do a couple
Yes,
of
yeah, I put pepper, and I like peppery stuff, so I put, and I have this beautiful squeezer thing, which is so great.
Okay, so this gets boiled, correct?
I think we should boil it nicely, and it's probably going to reduce some of the liquid. And once it does that, we will take it off the stove and let it cool. So this dish is basically very easy to make during the day, like in the morning for dinner, because it's supposed to be at room temperature, everything, it's not supposed to be cold. It's not supposed to be hot. So I love it because if I'm busy during the day, I do it in the morning. I let it sit. And the more it sits, of course, the more delicious the flavors become. It's almost everything.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that in Europe in general, they tend to make all vegetarian dishes and usually serve them at room temperature. I mean, I'm thinking of Italy and Spain in particular, where they'll have things just sitting out all day, and you wouldn't want it to be warm, and you would certainly not want it to be cold.
That's it.
That's a great thing. And when there's no meat in it, there's no danger of spoilage.
There's no problem. Yeah, there's no problem. Yeah.
Okay, my sauce is boiling.
Okay, let it boil for a little bit. And we can even start, what I like with this recipe is the garnish this is my mother's addition, by the way. And this is what I learned. And what we have done, and I think we did this ahead of time, is we blanched a green bell pepper and we took the skin off, which is really important because with the skin, it's not as good. So to take the skin off, take the pith off, take the veins off, and then basically these are my strips like this.
My green pepper was a little long in the tooth, so I'm using a red one, but it's a bell pepper still. It's not a hot pepper.
I don't think it'll be a problem. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to marinate this green bell pepper. And the marinade is, of course, we have some more balsamic vinegar. I used 2 tablespoons of balsamic and 2 tablespoons also of olive oil. This is definitely olive oil for now. And salt again, of course.
Salt I'm adding here.
Salt on that marinade.
And pepper, I'm assuming.
Yes, you're assuming correctly. Okay. So now I'm putting my peppers inside this bowl to let them marinate.
So I've done the same.
Yeah.
I keep checking the eggplant. They're getting brown.
So make sure
very brown yet.
So if yours is very brown, see, that makes your stove hotter than mine because mine is just starting to be brown. Just starting. So I'm going to let it sit there a little longer. I'm letting the sauce just, I'm cooking it until the liquid sort of goes down a little bit. We don't want it too liquidy for this dish.
Right.
We're just waiting for the eggplant. Is your eggplant actually done? You have to turn it once, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to turn. Yeah, it's time to turn it for the first time.
Could I see what it looks like? That's pretty good. I would keep it even longer.
Okay.
Let it go in there a little longer. But this is when, when I tell you, well, I think it's between or 8 and 10 minutes or 10 and 15 minutes to broil. We don't know from one oven to the other, of course.
Right, exactly.
And so we just wait till, and I think I have mine on Maxi broil high.
I do too.
Okay, mine's just starting. I think I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to turn it. And now we've done just about all the prep. What this dish is really good for, is like a side dish to a meal, but it really could be, it's good enough just to have as a full meal. And one other thing that my mom did with this dish is, instead of using a tomato sauce, she would have plain yogurt, squeeze of garlic, some dill, and she would put that on top. So
that sounds good too.
That's also good. So if you run out of tomato sauce or something, that would be a way to also work with this dish. And I just I remember how she was a great cook, but she would always fret. She would always worry that something isn't right or it's not. And when she had company, she'd really get crazed. I'm going to check. I think I'm going to turn mine. I'm
checking mine too.
Yeah, mine is ready.
I think mine is too.
Good.
Okay, so I'm going to turn them over.
And hopefully,
I think they're very nice and caramelized.
Yeah, I love this dish. When you said think about maybe an Armenian dish, this was the first thing that came to mind.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's relatively easy to make and it cooks fast.
Really, that's it.
Yeah, we've actually started eating vegetarian or vegan meal every other day.
Good for you.
It's better for our health and better for the planet. So this is going to be dinner tonight.
This dinner, great.
Yeah.
Next time I'll cook you a white bean dish that I also love.
Oh, good.
So, okay, I'm putting my thing back now for the other side. It won't be long because it's a very hot oven now.
Right.
Just make sure the peppers are marinating. Pepper strips. This was okay, and the tomato sauce. How's your tomato sauce looking? Did you take it off the stove?
Not yet. It's kind of liquidy still, so.
Okay, let it boil down then. Okay.
Okay.
The thing about this also is that we should not put the sauce on top of really hot eggplant, and the sauce should not be really hot. It could be warm, but it doesn't have to be cool. But I think it's important that the hot doesn't go with the hot, because then it makes it soggy. And
okay, that's good to know.
Okay. And you can actually, if it's too liquidy, your sauce, you could actually just take the tomatoes with a strainer, a kind of thing, and put it on top. You don't need to use the whole sauce.
Okay.
But how are those peppers doing? Did you kind of mess them around a little?
Oh yeah, they look good.
They look good. Yum. And I absolutely love. I love balsamic vinegar with this marinade. Just so good. I've been using a lot of rice vinegar for many salads.
Right.
But for this, I use the balsamic. So hopefully, I'm going to check, because it could be soon.
I'd say it's now for me.
Okay, take it out of there.
So we got a couple of burned ones.
You have a very hot stove. What does it look like, Ransom? Is it bad?
Unfortunately, we have some black ones.
Oh, you got some black ones. Those will be crispy.
I have enough to make it work. And I had so many slices of eggplant, seriously, that I have a whole extra tray. So I'll make that.
Oh, fabulous. Great. You can make it more. Yeah. And if you're having it for dinner, that will be substantial.
I'm gonna take these off the baking sheet right now.
Yeah, good. And just put it on a serving plate and let it cool down that way.
How's this look?
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Did the burnt ones burn all the way through, or did they just burn on one side?
Hard to say. Let me look. Well, there's one that looks like charcoal, so I think that's probably not the one I should use.
That one you won't like. Yeah, charcoal's not
The
good.
other.
So this is, here's mine.
Nice, yeah. I'm thinking more half-inch slices, which is more like what you have.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're a little bit more resilient under the high heat, I think.
That might be good. That might be good. I like a little crispiness on them, so
I've got that.
you got. How much are you cooking these days, Ransom?
Constantly, absolutely constantly, and I'm loving it. I mean, I've always loved to cook, but since we kind of have to, certainly around where I live out in the woods, it's not easy to get anything delivered that's already made. You get the groceries delivered and stuff. But I'm cooking every single night.
Oh my!
And
I am too.
Yeah, I bet you are. Yeah, my husband Walter is a very good cook, but I do the daily cooking. He only does holiday cooking, and he does Sunday morning breakfast.
Nice.
And he's absolutely expert at those.
What's Sunday morning breakfast?
Say that again. Sorry.
What's Sunday morning breakfast?
Well, Walter has perfected biscuits, so we have biscuits every week.
Wow.
Unless we're doing something like waffles or something. But normally it's biscuits and eggs and
fantastic
cheese, and it's high cholesterol. But only once a week. And he often does lunches too. He makes great sandwiches. He spent many years in the restaurant business. He was everything from manager to line cook to chef to everything. So he knows how to get it done efficiently and perfectly. And I'm much messier. I tend to dirty every dish in the house and every pan in the house, and but it comes out delicious. So.
Oh well, if you love to cook, this is the time now. This virus. This is the virus. My sauce is probably ready to put on. So
okay, I wonder if I can still see that my sauce is too hot.
If it's steaming hot, I would wait a little longer.
Yeah, Walter transferring it to a bowl. That's very smart.
Mine is pretty much ready. And I've also, what I like on top of all of this, so I do the eggplant first, and then I put the red sauce, the tomato sauce on top, arrange the green peppers or red peppers, and then I sprinkle chopped parsley on top of that, so that it has a little bit of uncooked vegetables. So should I do that now?
Go ahead. I'll go ahead and do it too, even though mine's probably a little too warm.
It's not going to kill it. It's not going to kill it. So,
okay.
So what I do is just right on top, I don't know if you can see, but I'm just doing this, just evenly spreading. I'm mostly taking the pieces out.
Here's mine. Does it look right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. That's
I'm gonna
great.
put the peppers on top.
And then that you can arrange it as pretty as you want. I'm
It's
using
not
my
really my thing. It ought to be, but I'm not really pretty good at that. I just kind of put things randomly.
I think this comes from my mom. You know, she was she wanted the dish to look always beautiful and, you know, appetizing, and
Yeah, I can see how this could look like a flower or something.
exactly what I'm doing. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, good.
exactly what I'm doing. So,
Well, so we'll see the meticulous way and the messy way side by side.
that's basically this. So now,
I'm coming around to look. One sec.
okay. And that's
I'm
kind
doing
of
the
why
parsley.
I think it's nicer not to have everything so, you know, steaming hot, because the parsley then looks a little wilted if it's too hot.
Right.
So here's the finished dish.
Okay, I'm gonna look. Beautiful. Even with my messy pile of peppers, that's fine.
Yay!
Okay, great. I can't wait to have this for dinner tonight. It looks amazing.
Good.
So, Ani Kavafian, thank you very much. This is exciting. We played chamber music together for so many years, and it turns out, not unsurprisingly, not surprisingly, I should say, turns out that it's fun to cook with you too.
Yeah,
So,
that's nice.
thank you so much, and I will see you soon at a Yale faculty meeting.
Oh, yes, yes, you will.
Okay.
Take
Thanks.
care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.